I have a real and genuine question for you. Is there a point at which you have too many lists, like a point of no return, where it's unusual the amount of lists that you have made? The reason I asked this is because I was on the Embrace Autism website and I was taking some of those diagnostic tests with one of my friends, just like for fun. And every single time I do these tests, I score like crazy high, okay? Whether it's autism, neurodivergency, masking, just all of them, okay? I'm usually like at least 10 points above what the average is. And I'm still not like 100% sure how to feel about that, but it's interesting. You know, I love personality quizzes. You know, Myers-Briggs, I'm not sure it's very helpful or real, but I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing what the things say and hearing what the other people say. It's like horoscopes for people. I guess horoscopes, like all horoscopes, are for people. It's not like dogs are using them. But anyways, I'm going through, and a lot of them are like pretty normal, like, oh, social anxiety sorts of things. But then I come to this one, and it's talking about whether or not you make lists that are like relevant to your life and useful. And at first I was like, but everyone makes lists. Obviously, that's very normal. But then like I was thinking about it a little more, and I realized I make a high amount of lists of things, okay? And when I mean lists, I don't mean like, oh, I have some grocery lists or like to-do lists, which I also do. What I mean is like, I love categorizing things. It is one of my favorite activities. Most people don't know this. I have like 3 YouTube accounts. One of them is just for this channel and it has channel related things. One of them is just for watching videos on YouTube, which honestly has an insane amount of playlists I haven't even looked at because they were based on hobbies and interests that I have yet to reassess whether I'm interested in them or not, because I tend to like pick things up and drop them a lot. But okay, the music account, the one that I use just for listening to music, I feel like is the best example of what I mean when I say an obscene amount of lists. So every time I've tried to explain the method to my madness, and I'm going through like the concepts for the list and why they're named the way that they are, people look at me like I might be crazy, and they're not 100% sure if they should be scared for themselves or me. To me, it makes perfect sense. Okay, I have a lot of playlists. They're all named weird things, but they make sense in my brain. So for example, I have a zombie rock playlist and a vampire rock playlist, but neither of those playlists have to include zombies or vampires in the concept, the title, anything like that. They don't have to have anything to do with zombies or vampires. But then you may ask yourself, what is the difference between those two playlists? I will tell you. So when I was like 15, I saw Queen of the Damned, and I was obsessed with this movie. Okay, I know it's trash. Logically in my brain, I know it's a trash garbage movie, but I love that movie, and there's just so many things about it that I adore. I made a playlist afterwards because I was like, if Lestat was still a vampire rocker, what would that sound be like? So there's a playlist for that. The zombie rock playlist was like, what if I could find more songs that sound like Dragula from Rob Zombie? That was the only law. Then there's like certain genres where I listen to a lot of the same genre, but there's like a specific sound I'm looking for. Okay, I have a rap playlist. It's called Hustle's a State of Mind, and it's just for like chill, making you feel awesome rap music. I have Rapping with a Full Clip, which is literally just any rap song where it sounds like the person is a machine gun. I don't know how to describe it, but it's that style of speed rapping, sort of like what Tech 9 does sometimes, where it sounds like a gun clip doing something. I don't know. I like that sound. I specifically want that sound sometimes. I have one that's just battle rap. I have a freestyle one. I have one that's specifically when they mix choral or samples in the back of the things. And then there's ones that get a little more obscure. Okay, so I like punk music. I have what I call a minor angst playlist, which is just like pop punk. Then I have one that gets a little confusing for people. I just called it Cheese Grater because it's like a very specific punk sound, and every time I've tried to explain it to people, they're like, no, that's just what real punk sounds like. And I'm like, no, okay, there are multiple playlists for punk music. There's Dancey Punk, which is like the Cure and stuff, and then there's Cheese Grater, which is like a specific sound that I'm looking for. It needs to sound like it's been through a cheese grater, and I don't know what to call that. I have playlists for certain moods. Driving faster in my car is literally just songs I think would be cool to speed to. I don't speed to any songs in my car currently, but I like the concept, you know? I have like a fluffy hair metal playlist. I have Eye of the Storm, which is actual heavy metal. Then I have Dark Rumblings, which is doom metal. I've got Anxiety Prefix, which isn't even one specific genre. It's just stuff that makes me feel kind of anxious to listen to. Like a blues playlist that's just called Thrill Is Gone. It's got like 8 videos in it. I have a music playlist specifically for when I cannot fall asleep and I need to fall asleep. I have Out of Step and Smooth, which is specifically like a weird mix of R&B pop hip hop that like is specifically, it has a syncopated rhythm to it, but it's still smooth. Okay, it has to be both syncopated and smooth. It's a very specific sound. And that's in addition to like all the ones that are a specific artist or a specific band or from a specific show or like for a specific project, like when I was running D&D campaign. I've got one that's just Western ballads. I've got one that is specifically fiddles and violins, but they don't all have to be the same genre as long as it is a fiddle or violin, or alternatively, someone using a bow on a bass or a guitar. Those all count for some reason. I have Irish drinking song. I have one that's just love songs. I have summer acoustics, which interestingly does not need to feature summer or acoustics. It's just a vibe. I've got a couple different old rock, soft rock sorts of playlists. I have a funk playlist. Okay, I have everything. If you ever need someone to, I don't know what the equivalent of drug dealing is, but like you ever need crazy amounts of playlists, I got everything. All right, I have a battle rap playlist. I have one that's specifically summery, bouncy synth music. I'm not sure what that's called, but I'm gonna take some guesses that it probably fits into the larger pop genre. So yeah, that's like just the playlist on the account that are like official, all right? Because on those other YouTube accounts from before I made one specifically for music, there are still playlists I have not looked at that I really need to go through and like condense into the playlist that are on here, because I have like 2 different pop playlists that are almost identical but not quite, because one is like creepy dark pop music and then one is creepier dark but sexy pop music, and it's a very minor distinction between the two. The music, it's not something I really think about until I'm watching something with my friends and then I'm screen sharing with them and they watch me scroll through like 32 playlists because what'll happen is I'll hear a song and I'll be like, oh, this goes on these 3 different playlists, and my friends will just have to watch me find it. And that's the only time it occurs to me that that's a little bit weird or excessive, or maybe not how other people organize their music. I'm not 100% sure. I got onto the internet a little bit late for Spotify, so I don't actually have, but I'm intrigued by it. You know, like I've seen some really interesting things people have done with playlists, with like just organizing songs by like words so that they make a sentence. I thought that was very fun. I appreciate the creative naming conventions, you know, because some of mine are just like, I don't know, cotton candy, that bounce, feeling good. You know, it's sometimes it's just like a sentence in my brain that I particularly like, or a reference to another song that isn't even included in the playlist. So yeah, I'm intrigued by Spotify as a concept, and I see people use it, and part of me is like, I could be one of those people. I could be a Spotify person. But I'm not quite there yet. However, okay, I'm realizing my list making is on a whole other level because I've recently gotten a hold of Letterboxd. I was recently introduced to it by someone I know who's like a huge film nerd, and I was really excited about it. Okay, as soon as I heard you could make lists, I was like sold, all right? And I'm not sure if making lists is an addiction or a hobby, but for my brain, it's like crack cocaine. I fucking love it, okay? Instantly, like sometimes when I'm bored at work, I'll just come up with new ideas for playlists. Like, what if you had a playlist that was only songs about people who want to date other people's girlfriends or boyfriends? That could be a list. You could do songs about people complaining that today's music is not as good as the old days music, because you could put like still rock and roll and a bunch of other things on there. So yeah, I do this for fun, like in my spare time. And now that I know you can do it with movies, I've been spending like 4 days doing this, okay? It is unhealthy. So for those of you who don't know, Letterboxd is a app, website, demon summoning circle? I don't know. Basically what you can do is you have an account and you can make lists for different movies. You can go and review the ones that you've seen and rank them. You can read other people's reviews on the movies. You can comment on things. You can follow people on there. So like I didn't even realize, but some of of my favorite like movie reviewer YouTubers are on there, and that has been also very fun. But yeah, I spent like 4 days just going through like all the movies I'd ever seen that I can remember, and then like making lists. And I already have like 16 lists. Like some of them make sense, you know, like I have a favorite movies list that's kind of ongoing because I haven't sorted out exactly what that means to me. Like I feel like for a lot of people, when you ask them what their favorite thing is, it is fairly simple, you know, it's I really like this thing. But for me, the issue is the movies I remember the most are not necessarily movies I liked, because I will tend to fixate on very specific aspects of a movie and I will think about it far too much. Okay, so like there's a specific movie playlist on my Letterboxd now that is specifically movies that I spent far too much time going down rabbit holes and I didn't even necessarily like the movie. I just spent too much time thinking about. I have a playlist that's just called I Will Die on This Hill, and it is specifically movies that I love, but consciously I know they are garbage. I know that they are trash, but I love them with all my heart and I will die on that hill for them. You know, there's like the generic genre ones like horror movies. Then there's ones like Never Again, which are just like movies I hated so much that I would rather die than ever watch them again, and I would never force even my worst enemy to see them. So yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy making lists. It makes me happy. Just coming up with the concepts for lists is like its own fun activity. Yeah, I don't know. Is that a hobby? Can you like have a hobby that just involves categorizing things? That sounds super nerdy, and I'm not sure if that's like good or bad. But yeah, it made me curious. Do other people make lists to this extent? Like, does it bring you joy? You know, like, do you look forward to creating a list based around a concept that you thought of? Would you also spend obscene amounts of hours on something like Letterboxd or My Anime List, just finding and marking all the things that you have seen or watched, which interestingly serves two purposes for me. I have a terrible memory. It's like I need a kickstart to remember stuff that I liked, especially when I'm trying to talk to people about it. So for me, you know, something like My Anime List, very helpful, because when people are like, oh, what's your favorite anime? I won't fucking remember. You know, at the top of my head, it's always The Princess Who Loved Bones every single time. And it's not even my favorite anime. I just really like that she wants a human skeleton. I feel that in my soul. So yeah, for me, it's a memory building tool. I enjoy it immensely. And honestly, it is a huge time killer. You know, you can just scroll on your phone and just add shit that you've seen and make stupid reviews about stuff. I was curious, do you make lists? Do you have a lot of lists? Are you a listless person, but like not in a sad way? Are you like, have you just like never thought about it and you like never made a list before? Because I have a lot of lists. One of the things I'm finding now that I know all these applications exist is that it is both a blessing and a curse. So I have a test Discord server that's literally just channels that are lists of stuff. Okay, there's ones that are specifically for like video links or image links or drafts of stuff that I didn't have anywhere to put while I was out. Now that these exist, I can take some of those things and shove them into an application that organizes it for me in a beautiful way. I also have found an obscene amount of random lists of heavy metal music I intended to listen to, movies I wanted to watch, my favorite rom-coms. They're just kind of spread out amongst the various notebooks and sketchbooks that I have. I don't know. It's been helpful to put that all in one sort of place, or 3 places, I guess. But on the other hand, I'm not sure if that's good, you know, that I have access to that power, that like ability. Like with Letterboxd, okay, I could be putting movies on and then I'll go, oh yeah, I forgot about this related movie. And then I will go down a rabbit hole for like 30 minutes of just movies related to that topic, of things that I liked, and then I will have to create a whole new list for that topic. Yeah, I don't know. There was some things I was thinking about, and I've never really seen anyone talk about list making as anything more than like a productivity tool. You know, I've never really given it much thought on whether some people do it more than others or if that would be an unusual thing to do. But I really want to know, are there other like knowledge hoarders out there? Because if there are other like dragon knowledge hoarders in the world that are like storing the things into the list, we should trade notes, because I bet you have some awesome information. I know I'm hoarding years worth of information that I may never find again because of the excessive amount of lists. It's all just sort of buried in there, like hidden treasure waiting to be found one day when I'm feeling extra productive. And yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of weird opinions on movies and music, so part of me has considered doing more movie reviews like that Transformers one I did, but I haven't quite decided yet, because a lot of the movies I watch are by their very definition trash movies. I don't know, I just really enjoy things that are kind of bad. But yeah, I don't know, it could be fun. So if that is a thing that you would be interested in, let me know, because oh my god, I have a lot of really weird favorite movies that I could share with you from various genres. If you've ever been curious about a kids movie but you've never been willing to watch it, I have seen almost all the kids movies on the face of the planet, and I cannot tell you why. I just really enjoy it. So yeah, that was everything. I hope you enjoyed.